very good pace coming through as well off the wicket.
Yeah, good carry, and again, Radnich in that area just outside off stump. But Borkham will be a little bit disappointed. He probably had a fair crack at hitting that one. They've got a bloke out at deep point, so it's probably only going to be a single, but Borkham will need to get that on ball.
He's going for that one, and that is out. Borkham had a big swing at that, looking to hit down the ground, lifted the head, and nicely taken in at first slip.
Oh, yep. Borkham probably frustrated by not hitting basically three of them, and I think that's been taken by Matt Gawthorpe at first slip. And yeah, charged him and probably didn't need to do that, and brings Josh Trappel to the crease in the second over. So Trappel's another really quality player, and type of bloke that can. He's certainly one of their players that they'll look to bat deep because he can bat for long periods in batting at 120, 130 strike rate. And he and Drives will look to get things moving here, but really good early strike for Radnich.
Yeah, it wasn't a wide. It was a brilliant delivery. He set him up, didn't he? He bowled that length and it nagged away at him, and he just got a little bit frustrated there and comes up with the early breakthrough. So Trappel, the captain, comes to the crease, very experienced, as you mentioned, can anchor the innings and can really fire, as we saw over the last couple of seasons, hit 5 sixes off the last over last year or a couple of years ago.
A couple of years ago, Greg Hunt won't like me saying that, but he deposited him over towards the scoring box a couple of times in that innings. You're spot on. I've seen him play some innings, particularly for the Hunter Hitman in the Plan B Regional Bash, where he was just superb and nearly won a game off his own hand. And he's very powerful again, especially when he gets going. He loves to hit. If you probably have it a mid-wicket and just long on around a sort of a squarish mid-wicket, he loves to hit them there. He can hit them a long way.
He can hit them a very long way. I'd hate to play golf against him, that's for sure as well. He's just got that quality hand-eye coordination and just always seems to find the middle, doesn't he?
Reckon that's a wicket maiden, which is gold in this, especially in a power play. Superbly bowled by Radnich.
Yeah, certainly was the wicket maiden. And a bit of a rarity in T20 as well.
Very rare.
And of course, this broadcast brought to you by Instant Access, providing all the infrastructure here for all the pictures. Thanks to Paul Nixon at Instant Access for providing the scissor lift. I wouldn't like to be the cameraman up there. It's shaking around a little bit at the moment, David. It's quite windy at the moment. The wind's really picked up here.
I'd be wanting to wear a harness. I'm not a big fan of heights myself, Gareth, but I'd be wanting to wear a harness up there, I can assure you. That is quite a strong sea breeze, isn't it? It's quite pleasant up here, but it is going to affect the plate.
Oh, stepping down the wicket was Dries, and he finds the gap, and this could go all the way for 4 again. A lovely stroke by Dries.
Charging him and kept his shape and belted him just back past the bowler and beat mid-off clearly and ran into the fence. Dries away to a good start here. 3 early boundaries, Gareth.
Just a really good clubbing shot, wasn't it?
It was a proper cricket shot, and again, you don't. A lot of people think you get a slog all the time playing T20. That's actually a misnomer. You're much better off keeping your shape as he did. He played a beautiful cricket shot straight down the ground, just as I said, to the right of mid-off. Yeah,
certainly the timing of it was superb. That one going down leg side. It's been called wide. Harriet. He couldn't get his gloves for it.
No, that flew 2 wides there, and they all help, especially when you can punish him and take a run off a wide. It makes a big difference. But that really flew. He was jumping in the air to Gareth and just managed to get it. He's
certainly struggling a little bit with his line here, Nick Bills. That's his 3rd wide now. Just struggling. I guess the conditions have changed from earlier this morning with the wind and the breeze, as we mentioned. So maybe not adjusting to the conditions, I guess, in the afternoon here, David.
Some people standing right next to that side screen, they need to move away, and they're being moved on now.
Kids. Can't teach them anything these days, David.
Oh,
where's the respect?
I'm not going there.
That'll be called a dead ball.
And I think this is because of these cars moving. There's a 4-wheel drive that has just gone behind the screen. It's one of the problems with playing here is that people drive their cars directly behind the screen with little or no care for the batsman. So.
Well, it is free entry as well. So if you are sitting at home and you want to come down for a lovely afternoon, minus, I guess, the breeze. The canteen's shut, though, David. I'm not too happy about that. I wouldn't mind a sausage sanger.
Yes, it would have been good.
I missed Bunnings this morning.
Did you miss Bunnings? Yeah.
from a safe place, Bunnings.
Very good.
Nice leave there by Travel, and a nice line as well. He's always got the good comeback ball, hasn't he, Bills?
Well, again, Bills is a very established cricketer, played Sheffield Shield, opens the bowling for the Sydney Cricket Club, and has also played for Mosman. We've played against him a bit when playing for the Newcastle Seal, and he's a very fine bowler. Can bowl long spells, doesn't change his pace much. He keeps on going and going, very fit. He actually works for New South Wales Cricket. He's an administration officer for the Umpires Association, and he's a very good bloke, but he's a terrific cricketer.
Trapple. Another good ball there by Bills as he plays it down the ground.
This remains an excellent place to play cricket. It's a great size ground.
One of the best in regional New South Wales. I've said it many a time, David.
There are some good grounds in New South Wales that have really done a lot of work. They spent a lot of money. One place we played at in Inverell, as an example, this year. Inverell's only a town of 12 or 15,000. But this is such a traditional home of cricket, and it's a great place to play. It really is.
Just hesitating there, but going through for the single is Trapple, and Dries now will be on strike. Let's see what he can do. We know he's looking certainly to get things moving here. He's the man out there that can get this run rate, get this scoring rate up, David.
Yes, he'd be the guy they're looking for to, try and get away for a 50 off 30 start, or do something like he did when you called the night game. That's his job here, and just particularly during the power play when they can only have two backs. So he'll try and look for that boundary with quite a large frequency, I'd imagine.
Just turning over the strike there. Content with the single as they move to 1 for 18. And this should be the last ball of the over, pending he can keep that line and length right. It seems he has got it right at the moment, Bills. Took a little bit of warming up, but now he's right on the money.
I think importantly this over he's making them play on the front foot. He hasn't bowled much short, and he's making them play to his mid-on and mid-off, which is what he needs to do.
Finding a bit of space that time is Trapple, and one thing about Trapple, he certainly knows how to turn the strike over, doesn't he, and keep the run rate ticking along. He's certainly, as we mentioned, been the anchor for this Hamwick side for so many years now.
He's been a very good player for a long time. He's played representative cricket for both Newcastle and Central North, and also in the excellent Plan B regional bash. He's been outstanding. He loves playing for the Honey. He's from Maitland. Loves playing for the Hitmen, and he's bowled and batted with distinction for them. So good player.
Yeah, certainly a great initiative, isn't it? The Plan B regional bash. It's one thing Bar TV Sports covers at the SCG each year, but I guess looking to get more into the minor stages for next year.
Outstanding competition, and this year that went to a round robin, and I was fortunate enough to be involved with the Newcastle side, and we happened to win it. And Gareth sitting at the SCG at 10 o'clock at night on a Sunday having a quiet ale with the boys right out in the picture. It's one of my best memories, I can assure you. It was wonderful. Sitting
up in the production box with the Bar TV crews, one of our live streams as well, David. It's certainly a great initiative, and I guess Ivan Spence from Newcastle, he's one of the administrators behind it as well.
And country cricket deserve a real applause for what they did this year in getting it into a round-robin format, and the players just love it. And, of course, when you're a country cricketer, the SCG's Mecca, and it was a wonderful day there. I know that Bar TV had the coverage. I scored a couple of games. I scored the Newcastle games. It was just a terrific day, and some very good cricket played. And fortunately, at Newcastle, we were fortunate enough to win that game against the Outlaws. It was great for us.
Radnich comes in. That one pops up, and nice ball again. Radnich really in some good form right now.
Look, if Uni sneak into the finals, he's one of the guys they're going to have to look to. He took 3 for yesterday. He's very consistent. And in finals, as you would well know, you don't need huge totals. It's all about putting pressure on batsmen. And as I said, Radnich doesn't let you leave many balls. He makes you play all the time.
Oh, the slower ball, and Trapple just didn't quite read that one. It was a very good delivery by Radnich. He had him beat in all ends up there.
Very well picked. I reckon he's rolled his fingers down the right-hand side of that and bowled that like a slower leg spinner. And you picked it very well, and it beat Trapple in flight, didn't it? He was threw the shot way too early. Well, but good disguise there. That's what you've got to do at T20.
Yes, certainly the variation, such a key to the bowling attacks all around Australia, and indeed in the Summer Bash here at number 1 Sports Ground. That'll be quarter wide. First blemish for the day for Radnage. Just trying to put a little bit too much pepper on at that time, David.
Just a bit too much. Just let it go down leg side. Trapple would be furious because there's no fine leg. If he'd have got anything on that, that's gone for 2 or 3 because the closest man there's a backward square. So, yeah, Radnage with that, with the 6-3 field and 2 blokes in the fence and the offside. Oh, wait.
Hits that. Goes through for a quick single there to mid-off, and good sharp running, but runs are dire, aren't they, from Radnage?
They are. As I was saying before, that he bowled that last ball with a 6-3 field and a deep backward point and a deep cover. He's bowling. He has to bowl outside off stump. And in fact, that's an interesting field for Dries because Dries is capable of hitting those 2 fellows on the square fence and the offside on the full. So it'll be interesting to see if they bowl to that and try and get him out. Stepping
down the pitch and nicely fielded there. It was Rogie. Came across. Cut off what was a certain boundary there, David, and that's the end of the over. 1 for 22.
1 for 22 off 4. After the great start that Dries has had, he hasn't had much strike, so he's got strike now. They'll be trying to get that towards 40 or 45 or 50 after 6, give themselves a real leg up in that power play, because after that they can whack 5 blokes back, and it makes it a lot harder to hit boundaries. Bills is coming in for his 3rd, I believe.
He's going to bowl 3 in a row here, so sticking with the same format that got them here this morning, as you mentioned earlier on, David.
That's right, and then I'm suspecting that Nathan Hudson, the left-arm orthodox spinner, will come on from this end after the power play's finished so that he can bowl with blokes back at the fence. Rogie will have a trundle at the far end as well, and Luke Bird as well will come on at some stage.
They'll hit straight back at the bowler, but no single there. They're playing fairly cautious here, the Hamwick side, aren't they? The Pumas, as they're known in this competition.
They are. Bills particularly has got his length right now. He's not bowling with width, and he's making him play. He's got a mid-off, an extra cover and a mid-on, and he's making him play straight. Dries, as we spoke about before, has been good enough to hit him for 4 there, but he's just not giving him width. So they've really drive the runs up there. You need to be very happy with where they're at so far.
And we're just drifting towards the leg side. He pushes it through for a single, so Trapper will now come back on a strike. And you know what, Josh Trapper, he does like to anchor the innings, but he does like to hit a boundary as well, so it'll be interesting to see how his temperament plays out in this final here today.
It means a lot to Hamwicks to be in the final. I don't think Trapper's, I wouldn't think, would do anything rash early. And he'll particularly want to see off Bills as their number one strike bowler.
Another good delivery there. Just cramping Trapple up a little bit and forcing him to play on the back foot.
You asked me earlier on what my highlight was. What can I ask you, Gareth? What's been your highlight of calling the games that you have? Has there been one standout for you?
Oh, I think I guess the young players coming through that a lot of the sides have chosen to play. There was some good a good young attacking game with the Charlestown guys. The Magpies played really well in that first fixture we had here and really set the tone for the tournament. And cut nice and fine down to 3rd man.
Trapple does the right thing and gets off strike. That's what he's got to do. If he's not going to be able to score quickly, then if he hits a singular ball, he's doing his job. Exposes Dries to as much strike as possible.
Yes, certainly, and I guess the first coin toss by the Deputy Mayor was certainly a highlight. He didn't actually know how to toss a coin.
I wasn't in New South Wales at the time. I was over at a cricket tournament in Western Australia, but I did hear about that. I think it caused some mirth.
Obviously not a 2-up player, David.
Not a gambler, me. I can imagine you being an interesting character on Anzac Day, Mr. Wasick. Would that be correct? It doesn't mind a bit of a 2-up on Anzac Day?
Not so much a 2-up, but I am an avid horse racing pundit.
Were you watching Lynx's barrier trial yesterday, Gareth?
Watching it, I was imagining I was riding. I had I had the old hobby horse out in the lounge room. It was whipping it home.
Is that Merriweather? There are a few guys watch that particular trial on their phones, I'll tell you.
They all go up, but the umpire shakes his head away. I thought it was pretty close there, David.
Yeah, look, I reckon that's actually flicked his thigh pad, to be honest with you, and it wasn't called a wide. Let's have a look.
Yeah, I think
definitely. It actually did. You can actually see it deviate. It just flicked his pad.
Yeah,
so.
it definitely hit something, and you're saying pad. And I'll agree with you there, David.
Thank you, Gareth. That's nice to have the lead commentator agree with the sideline eye.
It's not normal that I tend to agree with people, David, but you've got him a good side so far, so I'm happy.
I'm doing well there. Scott Rodgie, I believe. Number 12.
Yeah, it is, yep. New bowler coming into the attack. Rodgie
scored a mountain of runs in Sydney first grade. In the game that finished yesterday, he made 126 and took 4 for, and his side still lost.
Wow.
The other one chased down 379 to win, so that's a pretty fair game of cricket. So good cricketer, this bloke. Took an absolutely superb catch. Honestly, one of the best catches I've ever seen this morning. It was brilliant.
Yeah, right.
Running a long way, caught it 2 or 3 inches off the ground, and he caught it behind him. He actually overran it and caught it behind him, so it was a stunning effort. Second ball of the match. So
I feel bad for being at the beach all morning now, David.
Oh, no, I'm sure you. I bet you don't. I bet you don't feel bad for being at the beach.
I feel refreshed. Here we go, Rodgie. Just kind of beat him in.
Well,
really, didn't it?
Yeah, Dries went outside leg stump charging him, and Rodgie followed him and cramped him for room, and Dries all he could do was bun it straight back down the pitch. So.
A good old-fashioned tracking ball.
He's just very smart cricketer, Rodgie, and to be honest with you, he must be in line for perhaps further honours at some stage. He's got so many runs and wickets this year.
Oh, he's got him. That is a very good delivery. Just beat him in the air. I think it had a bit of went away from the batsman there. Bit of.
Possibly a bit of a leg cutter,
or
possibly a leg cutter. Dries was beaten neck of the crop, so if we get a replay of that, it looks like it's with that stump that's moved out. It looks like it possibly hit middle and leg. Let's have a look.
You won't see too often, will you?
Yep.
Dries be beaten like that. You won't
see
it.
Here we go.
Definitely a very good delivery.
Yep. Cannoning in the middle of the leg. That's a Jaffa, and that's a very big wicket in the context of this match.
Well, you saw where it pitched there. Dries was almost looking to play it on the leg side there and had to pull out the shot the last minute and it just beat him all ends up.
It did, and in comes Sam Webber, who's played this morning and made, I think, 30 off 16 balls and got an interesting delivery from the English leggy Gray that beat him neck and crop. But he's a bloke that this morning just teed off, and he's a bloke that can literally score 2 runs a ball. He can still tick you off 30 if he gets going. He's a dynamic cricketer. I would suggest to you he's one of the best cricketers that Newcastle's produced that has never played New South Wales country. That's how good a player he is.
Yeah, certainly is, and he's an exciting player to watch. Speaking of Trappel, as I mentioned at the toss earlier on, he did say his old legs were a little bit tired and struggled to get out of the dressing shed just before, after, of course, playing the previous game before the final. Both semis played here today, so needs to limber up quickly. But as you said, can hit a boundary, and this should be pretty exciting here.
Rodgie drags that one down, actually took some speed off it, and Webber plays a pull shot to deep forward square and gets himself off the mark. So now Trappel probably, Gareth, has to change tack a bit. Now he can't sit back and score ones all the time. He may have to start looking to be a bit more aggressive with Dries not being there. We'll just see how he goes about it.
Oh, that's nicely played. Down where third man should be, and third man wasn't there, so that's going to be another boundary.
Delicately played, yeah. He's got that probably through second or third slip. Right off the middle of the bat, just guided it down there and used the pace of the ball to get it over the boundary. Here we go. Just opens the face, and third man reasonably wide, goes down toward that white tent down there, and 4 runs to Trappel, which will possibly get him going here and ignite him.
Yeah, I think now with Dries in the pavilion, it's more imperative, I guess, that Trappel plays that ankle roll, and Webber, of course, we know the anchor's up with him. He's certainly not going to Die wondering, is he?
You said in the pre-match interview that Trapp was looking at 130 at being par. That's actually the score they made in the semi-final this afternoon. I would think they want a bit more than that, but certainly they put the clamps on Belmont with scoring such a good score, and Belmont couldn't get near them.
Yeah.
So we've got 2 for 30 after the power play. So that's it. So I would suggest to you that 30 off the power play is a win for Uni.
That's definitely a win for Uni, I think. And as you're mentioning past scores before, as we've seen throughout all this summer bash, this version of it, this year, this season, 140, 150 is the score where teams just haven't been able to chase down. 130 is definitely a competitive score, and any side can sort of win that game.
That's exactly right. Left armer Luke Bird coming on here. The side screen's just been moved, so Bird's going to replace Bills, and the power play's done. So now Uni can have 5 players maximum outside the ring. Bird, who's a long-term Uni player, a bit like Sam Webber, struggling a little bit with a knee, but still a very good cricketer. And
he's been around a while, hasn't he?
He has. At his absolute peak, he was rapid. His brother, of course, is Aaron Bird, who played Sheffield Shield for New South Wales. And he doesn't mind bowling in his own half of the pitch, let me tell you, Gareth, when he gets going. But I don't think he'll do that here as much.
Oh, nice and full that time, and beating the fielder, but cut off in the end by mid-off there.
It was interesting in doing a bit of work in repainting the ground earlier, how much it had changed from the morning to the afternoon, how much it had actually dried and the moisture's come up. It had just lost a tinge of green. It was quite a bit browner. This morning it wasn't a green top, it was quite green. And I think that they prepared the pitch because they're playing 3 games on it, obviously.
Certainly the ground staff here at Number 1 Sports Ground, it's the premier ground in Newcastle. I don't care what anyone says. I know they've redeveloped Number 2 over here, and you can have your McDonald Jones home, but this ground certainly is picturesque, and I know you've done quite a bit with the BDAFL here as well.
I've had the privilege for the last years of calling football on Bar TV, and I've always wanted to be a sports caller, but at my age you get given an opportunity. I love calling the football, and it's a privilege, actually, it really is. Especially
at grounds like this, and I guess that's a testament to the ground staff, as I was saying. So big shout out to Newcastle City Council, and I guess the ground staff here, they're probably the only council workers that do much work.
No, I'm not going there. I'll tell you one thing, it's been a very warm, dry summer, and Newcastle, I don't live in Newcastle, but a lot of people are saying this is the driest summer they can remember. And you can see this ground, there are brown patches, but that's just unavoidable. I think the ground's in very good condition. And as you're talking about council, they actually take a lot of care over this ground. So. Luke Bird got disconcerting lack of bounce there. That's bounced twice before getting to Reading. So
didn't really carry through that time, did it?
No.
So 2 for 32 is the score. Run rate about 5.3 and over at the moment.
It's interesting when you compare the pitches. You look at the pitch that Australia played New Zealand at Eden Park the other night. It was an absolute freeway. And they've almost scored 500 runs in a T20. It was remarkable. And the players were actually saying the pitch was almost too good. The surface was such a good batting wicket. This year, I would call this a much fairer cricket week because it gives everyone a chance to play.
As far as regional cricket goes, obviously you're a big, I guess, fan of it, administrator of it as well, but would you like to see more bigger games be brought to Newcastle? I guess Big Bash, I guess not in its entirety, but some trial games and some Sheffield Shield like we used to have. That's over the top of the bowler.
The ground would need to have some more work done on it to get to that level. The standards of stadiums have gone up so quickly now, and you've got all these grounds around the place and that you can put drop-in pitches at. That this ground, if it was going to develop, that would be great to have that sort of cricket here again, but there would need to be some things like... Sorry, the PA's in the background. Sorry, things like an electronic scoreboard and perhaps the facilities over here where we've got a grass hill. If you're going to go up to that level to either host a franchise or have part of it being hosted here, you'd need to go and the infrastructure would need to be get up, because you're playing in places like Kidinia Park in Geelong that's now holds 40,000 people. It gets a game. York Park and Launceston's another one that they've been playing a couple of games at.
Here's Roger again. Field will come around and cut this off. One-handed pickup, very good. Thrown back to the keeper, was going to be close, and Trapple just scampers through to be safe.
As a comparison, just to finish that point off, Canberra and Newcastle are about the same size. Okay, and Manuka Oval is a superb sports arena now. I mean, let's face facts, it's had millions put in by the AFL because of the Giants playing there. So this facility, when I was growing up, was always one of the best grounds in the country, and you always want to play here. And I think it would be wonderful to see that level of cricket here. I think you'd agree with that. It'd be great to get that sort of level back here.
Yes, certainly, and one of our co-callers, Greg Burgess, was reminiscing, and this was only sort of 12 years ago when the New South Wales side played here.
Look,
we had Brett Lee in the commentary as well. He was saying he played quite a few games here as well as a junior, and indeed a couple of Shield games as well.
David Hussey made a massive double. We were talking about this morning in the scorebox. David Hussey made 260-odd. McGill's and Matthews have bowled New South Wales to victory once or twice. But at the moment, you look at other grounds, just to be fair, you would need top-level lighting if you want to have a big franchise. And there's one thing here, the lights are okay, but they're not up to that lux level. And there's other things you need to do to get it to that level, but it would be wonderful to see that happen for our city.
Well, this one is high up in the air. Fielder coming around. It's a tough one to take and just couldn't get there in the end. It was Nathan Hudson tracking back and just lost the ball in the air, and fortunately for the batsman, they're safe, David.
Yeah, I reckon the wind's carried that a bit. Looking at that wind, it is going from right to left on your screen, and it just kept on going. And looking at the trees over here, that's exactly where it's coming. It's coming from the harbour across. So, a bit lucky there, Sam Webber.
Oh, he's gone for that one as well. That one is over the top of the infield. Won't quite make it to the boundary. It is a little bit slower than what it actually looks out there, as you mentioned earlier on. It looks like it's going to fly away to the boundary, but it just holds up, and it's done that all season.
Yeah, there are patches, like if you look down here right in front of where our camera is, in front of the side screen at the southern end, there are bare patches. Once it gets on that, it's gone. But there are other spots where you're hitting 2s and 3s and it's just pulling up. Sam got a fair piece of that.
And that one is nicely struck again. Oh, just
did it.
Kept in. Nicely done, Radnich.
He probably owed them from before, Gareth, wouldn't you say, after letting that ball go through?
He's pegged one back. He still owes the team a bevy at the bar on the hill later on tonight, David.
There'd be a fine for that too at uni. They don't like misfields very much, especially at this level. They're very keen on their fielding.
Well, I read during the week in the Newcastle Herald that the bar on the hill's got beer back in it. It was a dry bar there for a while. That's a lovely shot, and this should go all the way, and nicely done in the end, but couldn't quite get there. The fielding was gallant, but that's the first 4 in a while, and they're looking to kick things along here, the Hammocks. So look at the replay here, David.
Almost a no-y, but yeah, Sam got topspin on that one, went down the hill a bit and got it on the dry stuff. You're talking about the bar on the hill. I've been involved in the universities for 20 years, and it was always the premier live music venue for universities in almost all of Australia. And
I've done a couple of gigs there myself.
I can imagine that you might have. I was going to ask you that, actually. But it's a great place.
Yeah, it's a salt of the earth. Where men become men and cows eat chickens for breakfast, David.
I can imagine.
Trapples hit that nice and hard. But
you're a Callaghan graduate yourself, are you not, Gareth?
I certainly am.
Quite a few of the Bar TV team that were doing our BDAFL coverage last year.
Ryan Brooks, 20 in. How good is David Redden, my hero?
Thanks, Brooksy. I'll check in the mail, big fella. Say hello to your mum and dad, please, Brooksy.
I'm just waiting for our producers to bring up the hate tweets for me, David. Oh, that one off the knee, and it's got a bit of an edge and finds third man there.
You see how powerful Sam Webber is. It rockets off his bat, doesn't it, when he gets them? They just fly off it.
Yeah, I know. He's such a casual person, isn't he? But when he hits that ball, it gets hit, and it gets hit very hard.
You've hit him. I reckon you might know him because he is one of the most casual dudes I have ever met in my life, Sam Webber. Great bloke, but geez, cash.
He's so casual, he's not even facing up.
I think that Trapples actually pulled away because the fieldsman who was going to long on was actually running backwards, and the rules of cricket say you've either got to be stationary or moving forwards. He's actually running backwards. So
he's very good at the rules, Josh Trappel. He's out there in the toss earlier on. He had his team sheet. The university captain, Captain Rushford, came out without the team sheet and said, "Can I give it to you in a second?" He said, "No, you've got to get that. It's the rules of cricket." So he's a stickler for him.
I'll tell you a story in a minute about Trapp. He taught me something about the rules.
That one going down lakeside, so that'll be another wide there.
my first year of cricket in Newcastle with my club Stockton, we played a game against Hamilton. I was very tight at Passmore, and a thunderstorm came across, and we had to get 50 or 60, and it was late on the second day, and we came off for lightning, and that's the rules of cricket. And what I didn't realise is that when lightning is called by the umpires, you can't take the covers out. Everyone's got to get in the covers. So we went to put the covers out, and Trap said, sorry, you can't. That's the rules. So he does know his stuff.
Yeah, he certainly does, doesn't he? And I mean, it's great. He's been a great character of the local cricket community for a number of years now. He's a very good player. As you mentioned, he plays in that Hunter side in the regional bash. He also plays the rep stuff for the Newcastle side as well.
Played for Central North this year in Inverell.
He did too, yeah.
He played for Central North, played in the Red Hat this year. Up there in Inverell, and if you ever get an opportunity to go down Varley Oval, Inverell's a great. You've called there, have you?
I haven't called there, but I have been billeted out there as a teenager at Inverell, and I tell you what, it was mind-blowing. Taught me a lot of things, Inverell. Oh, that one pitched a little bit too short there, struck back over the head there of mid-on, and that's a nice boundary for Trapple.
So they're 50. Run rate here is 6.5, and that's getting them towards. That's almost. In fact, that's just about exactly at 130 as par. So I think Hamwick's going along here, and if they don't lose it, if Sam stays out there for 4 or 5 more overs, they're as you can see, he's in the mood just to go. And Trapple's picked that up, as you said, short of a length from Bird, and he's deposited him over mid-on.
That one comes off the pads. Oh, a bit of a mix-up there. Webber was the man that was in danger. Trapple was well safe, but Webber took his time getting back. Went to the wrong end.
It was Trapple's call as well. It was in front of square. So, and Sam would find it difficult to turn around on that. He has got a sore knee. So
yeah, sore knee, and he does have the back issues as well. I guess he's
action
a veteran now of the game.
His action leads to that because he rocks back in his action, and he puts a lot of stress on his body. Goodness me, when he lets them go, they go. Oh,
you should see him on the dance floor.
No thanks.
Oh, that is close to getting back onto the stumps there. Trapple picks it up cheekily.
Yes, I wouldn't have. You certainly had to hit the bat. I wouldn't go anywhere near it with my hands that close to the stumps.
That's right. I'm surprised he did it, being such a stickler for the rules. Got away with that one.
He did. Now here comes the left arm orthodox spinner Nathan Hudson, and he's going to bowl first up to Webber. And Webber, I can guarantee you, will try to go downtown on him here. And as you can see, I think Uni are going to put 3 blokes in front of square on the leg side boundary in front of us. So they've gone deep square, deep mid wicket, and long on, and there's a long off. So Hudson's going to have to bowl straight here. Now, where hasn't he got coverage, Gareth?
Well, we're right behind the long on here, David, and I'm guessing we might take a catch here.
Yeah, Sam's not likely to play a lap sweep. Hudson can't drop short in the offside. That's where he hasn't got coverage at point.
Oh, he's gone for it. He doesn't quite get everything he wanted to on, and it's a bit of a mistimed. So Hudson, he wins the first battle.
Yeah, and if he hits down this way, he's hitting downwind, especially if he hits square. So let's have a look.
Steps down the wicket. That is a very, very big shot over the fence. For the first 6 of the day, Sam Webber unleashes and launches, and almost going near our instant access scissor lift. Our cameraman up there shaking his head. Can't believe he's up there.
And he's only 3/4 got that just quietly. He did not get that in the middle. So there's one. Let's see what happens. Let's see what the riposte is here. But I don't think Sam's going to die wondering, Gareth, at all.
He's gone for that one as well. That's a lovely shot, and
has he kept that in?
I don't know if he saved that. It's going to be close.
He's now
had another go at it, and the head goes down. It was a brilliant effort there by McKechnie. Double dive.
McKechnie nearly pulled that off, didn't he? That was superb fielding. Sam again late. That was a fully out on his legs, and he's got a hold of it. So 10 off 2 balls. Hudson under pressure.
Oh, short, and just had to stretch out for that. And
he held that one back. He actually held that one back, and he beat him in flight. Sam was good enough to get some bat on it. But cleverly bowled by Hudson.
Had him in full stretch, didn't it? It was a clever ball. Good comeback ball. 10 off the previous 2.
So now Bird's going to come into the ring, I think. And now Redding, the keeper's moving McKechnie around sort of in front of that tent. I reckon he'll go over. It's sort of a deep cover. He's gone to sweeper.
It'll be interesting here for Hudson too, as he comes in, because he can't underestimate Trapple and take his mind off, because Trapple can hit as well.
Yeah, with Sam going like this, I would suggest that Chappell may now go back to 1s and 2s and just take it nice and easy and try and stay there.
That one's going to be called wide.
Big over this for Hamwicks, 6 and a 4.
Got them up to 7 and over as well.
It has. I think there's 12 or 13 off this over already, which is what they wanted, 12 actually.
Oh, that one's full, and in the end, Chappell just couldn't get to it, so an up and down over there for Hudson, the young off spinner.
And 65 off 10 now. It's remarkable that Trapp was talking about earlier in your pre-match commentary. He was thinking 130s par. Well, they're exactly halfway there. At the moment, you'd think that they'd be favourites to get more than that, and that will put enormous pressure on the Sea Dragons. But of course, Bills has got one left. Bird's got a couple now. It's a change of bowler at that far end. I think Radnich might be coming on the far end. We'll just have a look there.
Yeah, I think it is.
Yep. So Radnich is going to come on at that northern end. This is the first time he's bowled up that end today, actually. His previous spell was at this southern or Merriweather end.
I think this is a good option here with the spinner on the other side, because we know he can slow up this run rate. Radnich might frustrate Webber into playing some undisciplined shots out there.
And Uni don't have many other slow bowling options. Gawthorpe can bowl it at a pinch, but they won't. Gawthorpe would be your 7th or 8th choice. Rushford can bowl right arm meds as well, and does quite regularly. But this is, I agree with you, this is a good move to bring on one of their 2 strike bowlers in Radnich or Bills. And see how Webber goes about Radnich. He's got no one at mid-wicket at all, and that's going to be a target. I'd suggest over towards that light pole.
We'll see here, and looks like he was almost teeing up to aim it out there, David. So
Radnich was smart. He whacked that. We put that as soon as he saw Sam step outside leg stump. He's gone at least a foot outside, something made him reach. Sam doesn't really need to do that. If he holds his shape, see how Radnich goes about this one.
He's gone for that one straight down the ground. I don't think the fielder's going to get to it, is he? Oh, he does. Somehow comes across, cuts it off from a certain boundary there.
Good speed from Luke Bird off the mark and put in a big effort and saved that one. I thought off the bat that was for sure for he hit that. Again, he didn't play a slog, just played a good cricket shot, didn't he? It was a good, competent cricket shot, and Bird good enough to save 3 runs there. So in comes the fine leg. To the ring, and back goes a sort of a very, very fine third man. So I wonder if he can't bowl on his legs now.
Oh, he goes for that one. That is a shot. That is almost shot of the day there, David.
Lovely shot.
Taking away from the 6. He saw the fielder not back and really went for it there, David.
He did. He's got mid-wicket in on the ring, and he's got a long on and a deep forward square, and he took advantage of it. Radnich now, this far, he probably can't bowl a length. He's got to bowl very full or bowl slower balls. If he bowls length, these guys are well enough set that they'll pick him off.
Yeah, certainly variation is key as well. He's gone for that one. That one is straight down the ground. It might be cut off. I think it will. They'll go for 2, though. Webber coming back nice and quickly there as Trappel also looking to get this run rate as it ticks over 7 now, up around that 8 and over. I think they'll be happy with that, David.
Oh, yes, absolutely. Trappel's really starting to go now, and Radnich is under quite a bit of pressure. Needs to find a way. Probably a slower ball will be an option here.
That one's high in the air. Someone's car's going to get hit. No, it hits the pole.
Unbelievable, and bounces back in the field. Lovely. He picked that again. He's got... Gareth, we were talking a minute ago about the length. He's bowled a length ball again. Trappels, that's the downwind side. So for viewers who are watching, where he's hit this, that is straight downwind. He's picked him off outside off stump. Lovely coverage here on the replay. And it goes over the fence. So really putting the hammer down here, Hamilton Wickham. It's good to watch.
Coming again, that one falling slow, and that's good variation, and that's a good slow ball again, David.
He had to bowl that, and another good over for the Pumas. They're looking good here. They're 7.1 and over. That gets them, towards 140, 150 if they keep going at that rate.
After 11 overs, the Pumas are
after halfway, he was on the money, wasn't he? 130, but he's decided, nope, 130 is not going to be good enough for me.
On comes James Rushford. So Nathan Hudson's got the hook after 1 over. Rushford's a right-arm medium pace bowler. I'm surprised Redding's not standing up to him, but he'll bowl medium pace and bowl changes of pace. A very fine cricketer, James Rushford.
Yeah, he is, and
good player.
It was good banter out there as well when they were warming up. They were having little digs at each other, both these sides. Both these sides are no strangers to each other in this Twilight T20 Summer Bash.
Fair comment.
And
a lot of people like playing against Uni. They love a bit of banter and
a little bit of chirp.
That's their way. They've been a pretty successful club over the last few years, so they've got some good players.
That one's going to be a wide, slower ball, and I can assure you that Josh Trapper would have said something to him on his way back there.
And they're rushing between the overs, so they've got to hurry up on time here because he just ran back to his mark.
Stepping down the wicket. This could be close in the air and...
Well stopped.
Well stopped in the end.
Hudson's done superbly to keep that to a single. Speaking of University of Newcastle, Grant Stewart, their ex-Newcastle player, made his List A debut during the week for Kent on tour in the West Indies and actually took the wicket of the great Shivnarine Chandapur playing for Kent, which is fantastic. If you're listening, big man, good, well done for big fella.
He does listen into I know the Kent Club as well. They always stream the Bar TV stuff, given the affiliation we've had over the Summer Bash with Newcastle City.
Yep.
I guess their sister club, the Kent side over there.
Yeah, indeed. But it is great. Grant Stewart's just worked so hard to get himself into becoming a first-class cricketer and a List A cricketer. And as I said, university play for New South Wales country, and he's doing wonderfully well. Well done, Grant.
Yeah, very good. And if you are tuning in, let us know what you think of your university side and how they're going.
Reading's come up now to Rushford. So Rushford's bowling a little bit more slowly, and Reading's come up and stood behind. It's come up to the stumps to him.
Slow and a little bit of movement in the air too, and that was nice and full, and that's where he needs to put it. He really is trying to hurry up this.
They've been given a hurry up. Yep.
Finally played. That was a nice little shot off the back foot. Down to third man, who'll flick it in.
So they haven't hit a boundary this over. Hudson stopped that one off the first ball. Sam Webber will be looking to go large here in a minute. If Rushford bowls the wrong length, look out.
I don't know about soon, David, because he went right then and there and now, and that's another 6 to Sam Webber. What a shot.
And that makes what was a very good over for Uni and makes that now a good over for Hamilton. Here we go. He's taken that from a foot outside off stump, hit it square, and absolutely laced it. Hit that in the screws. Very good batting, Sam Webber. So 87 is the score, and Hamilton Wickham are going along very nicely, thank you very much. They've got 8 wickets in the shed. Radnage, I think, is going to come on and probably bowl his last over at that northern end. Yep, Radnage will bowl here.
Interesting option, because he would have been, I guess, looking to claws out.
Radnage to continue now. Interestingly, Redding's come up to the stumps as well here. So I'm predicting there'll be some slower balls here, Gareth, with Redding up to the stumps.
Oh, that's a good delivery first up. Just beating Trapple.
Might have got
nice and full, didn't it?
Might have got a little touch on that. It's very hard to take them up to the stumps.
Yeah, he's a better man than me, is Harriet. Being a professional bat pad myself.
It is Harriet. I've been saying it's Reading all along. No, you're right. It is Andrew Harriet from Northern Districts Cricket Club and formerly of Tamworth. Got a bit of write-up in the Herald this week.
This one is high up in the air. This could be out here, and oh, that's a magnificent take in the deep. What
very,
about
very
that?
Good catch. That's an excellent take.
Oh, very, very good. That's an understatement, David. That was superb, sublime. All the superlatives you can throw at it, David.
Reckon that might be Matthew Gawthorpe again down there that's taken that ball long off. So
he has taken some screamers in this Summer Bash over the last few years, and that one he can certainly add to his highlights reel, because that was an absolute screamer.
And then comes Reece Hanlon, and Reece went large this morning. He made 30-odd in a real hurry. So now they've got 2 guys at the crease that can really go hard. Trapple's done his job, and now it's time for someone else. Gawthorpe's played a lot of good representative cricket. He's in the ACT system for a few years. Very fine player.
Yeah, he was, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was, yep. And terrific cricketer. And went berserk yesterday. His side, Uni, went very well against Wall's End. And in the second innings, they went out and and made 220 for 6 in the first innings after dismissing Wall's End for 117. He made 66 off 38.
I think you find he's a former hot shot too.
Really?
Apparently so. A little bit of trivia for you.
There you are. Hot shot, okay.
You
Things I learned from... I've only mentioned today, but I'm learning a lot, I tell you.
You give me the stats, I'll give you the colour.
Fair enough.
I'm not sure if that's a stitch up, but we did get some dossiers on them a couple of years ago.
Okay. Sam laces that one to the sweeper at cover. So now Webber, it's interesting the T20 tactics Sam will, I don't think he'll stop doing what he's doing, but you're interested to see if he now thinks, gee, I might try and get into 16 and 17 and 18 and rather than throwing everything now. They don't need to lose another wicket now. All good teams do not like losing wickets in clumps, as you'd know. They don't need another one now.
So Hamlin facing. Digs that one out. They'll go through for the quick one, and that's good running by Webber. Calling him through.
Very good over so far from Radney. That ball was right on the crease and gave Hamlin almost no chance, but just dig it out.
He's been the pick of the bowlers, hasn't he, so far?
Absolutely. He's out bowled Bills for mine. Mid wicket's gone back now, Gareth.
Oh, that's a big, thick edge, and that's going to race away to the boundary for 4.
Luck's a fortune. He got benefit there from a big swing. There's no one defending it. It slipped there, so it's a. And as I said, third man had come up because they've dropped back that deep mid wicket. There was a big gap earlier in the over. Now they're trying to stop that shot there. Sam's good enough to get a bit of bat on it. So 3 for 93 is the score. Good effective run rate here. You know, if they keep that run rate, they're getting towards 150, 160, Gareth, and that will be a task.
Yeah, as we said earlier on, that 140 plus is a very hard target to chase down, and that's a lovely shot as well. That will find the boundary, and that's all power, little finesse, but who needs it when you can hit them like that, David?
He's got great levers, and when he hits them, they stay hit. He's very powerful play. Here's this one. Too far outside off stump for Radney. So Radney's last 2 balls go for 4 and 4, and all of a sudden that over where they've taken a wicket. Hamilton wicket 3 for 97 off 13, 7.5 and over, which gets them to 150 after 20 if they keep up that level. Rushford's going to come back here. Harriet's going to stand up.
Interesting as well that he's taken off the young spin bowler Hudson. Would have maybe looked to shown a little bit more faith in him, do you think, David?
I don't think they want Hudson to be bowling to Sam with Sam hitting downwind. If Hudson comes back on, he'll come up that other end and make Sam hit into the wind.
Well, that's a good ball. Beating the outside edge. Harriet's been good behind the stumps here today.
He has. Tidy. Bills didn't make it easy for him early.
Going down leg a little bit too often.
Yep.
Was Bills, but he got it right in the end.
So clear tactics from Hanlon to get Webber on strike. Webber's now hitting downwind. Rushford has to bowl at the crease or wide of off. With the way Sam's hitting them, even then.
That one's full, and he's hit that nice and hard back to the long off.
That really is quite good bowling. He didn't give him any length. Made him hit it to his sweeper, so that's good work from Rushford there.
He had to hit it along the ground really that time, didn't he? It was
almost
the perfect delivery. That one's in the air, but they'll be happy with the single, you'd think.
Chris Connors gets that ball in quickly.
Webber's looking for the second. I think he wants to get as much strike as possible.
Again, a test of where Rushford can put the ball. Sam will tee off if it's the wrong length. Or width. If there's width there, he'll certainly tee off.
That one hitting the pad there, not really offering a shot, but going down leg side for certain, David.
Yep, and of course they can't run because it's a dead ball. So yeah, Rushford is really moving between wickets here. So I would reckon that if they're pressed for time, that Hudson may have to bowl another over or two to get their over rate moving. They don't want to lose an over. Shot.
That one just moving away as well. One bounce to that sweeping fielder, Connors.
Rushford will be happy with that over, I reckon. They've done a reasonable job that over. He made them hit to the sweepers. No boundaries.
They brought up their 100 that over as well. So 3 for 101 after 14. 7.2 and over. And you have the feeling that they want to get that to about 8 and over. And I think around the 15th over, 16th over is when you'll really see some shot making here, David.
Indeed. Now, Bills is coming on from the northern end. And I would think that this may... Oh, is it his last?
Yeah, this is his last.
It gives his good,
bowled
yeah.
3.
He's bowled 3, thank you.
Straight up.
So the way I would play this is I wouldn't want to give Bills a wicket or 2 here or expose new batsmen to him. Sam probably won't, but I would imagine that the smart move here is to try and take 7 or 8 off him without too many risks. See how they play it. Back goes that mid-wicket. 1, 2, 3, 4 in the ring. There's that third man for that snick down here is open. There's a deep backward point, a sweeper at cover, and also Sam's got no one between deep square cover and mid-off. There's no one in the fence, so Sam may go inside out and try to hit him over cover, or even have an extra cover. That's a Newcastle sound, that one, in the harbour.
The big harbour.
Yep.
Of course, we did the water polo in there yesterday. It was a
Where does he
magnificent
go?
day, and that is a very good shot, exactly where you told him to go, David.
Well, Sam's good enough to do that, and it's very hard to set a field for him when he's in this sort of form. I'm interested to see if they change the field, if they stick with their guns. No, they're going to stick with it. I don't think that's the last time they'll try. Now, interesting here. Bills is... See how he goes bowling around the wicket to him. See how Sam deals with this.
The only way he knows how to, I feel, that's in the air for a little bit, but he'll get through for a single. Of course, plenty of fans out there watching. A couple of big names as well. Matt Trail, Reece Soper tuning in.
How's Soapy going? Soapy, well, hello, Reece, if you're out there.
Yep, he's impressed with the batting of Sam Weather. Bombs away, he's saying.
And there's one from Ron Hancock there, my club president. And yes, there are seagulls in the background, Ronnie. There are seagulls everywhere, and cockatoos, I'll tell you.
Seagulls, cockatoos, a couple of minor birds, pigeons.
Bill Laurie would be pleased, Gareth.
Oh, what's a cricket game without the pigeons and the seagulls? Oh, that's a good shot,
Might
but
be
it's
out.
in the air. Could be out. Diving forward. That is a very good catch, David. Coming forward. He had to come forward 3 or 4 metres. It's Bird out in the deep.
Lovely catch from Bird. Coming forward, that's always the hardest catch.
Well,
Here we
speaking
go.
of
Here's the replay.
Cockatoos and minor birds, and well, there is Luke Bird.
That is a good snaffle. That really is. That's a very clever interception.
Four for 106.
So in comes Aaron Cooper, and Sam's got strike. They did cross during that. And down in front of us, the recent inductee into the Australian Country Cricket Hall of Fame, the great Mark Curry, one of the best cricketers Newcastle has ever produced.
Yes, certainly.
Afternoon, Mark. How are you? Hello, Mark. Great man he is. Still heavily involved with cricket, and deputy principal at Hunter Sports High School as well is Mark Curry.
We'd have to deal with Jay Strawn there, which I feel very sorry for him. Mr. Strawn. He'll be tuning in.
That might be out.
Very good
no one
shot.
there.
There's no one there, David. No one's at home, and that's another good shot by Webber.
Again, he takes advantage of the fact they've had to bring that guy into the ring. I missed the fact, and there they go. Field changes now. In comes Hudson. So Hudson comes in from deep third man. Bud's gone back to long off. Now, who are they bringing in? Now, actually, no. Rushford's changed the field. He's brought up long on, and that is dangerous. Now Gawthrup's sitting on the ring, and he's dropped Bird back to long off. So see if Sam...
Well, he has the uncanny ability of finding where the fielders aren't.
Well,
of course, we're live on Facebook and Twitter, on Bar TV Sports as well if you want to get in the game. Subscribe to the Bar TV Sports websites. Like us on Facebook and Twitter to get in the match. This match brought to you the Summer Bash by Newcastle City Council, I believe. The Lord Mayoress, or Lord Mayor...
Lord Mayor Nuatali Nelms.
Nuatali Nelms will be here later. We saw her yesterday at the water polo. She said she'd be going to the surfing, then making her way over for this final. She's busy.
From what I tell me, some of the surf's been massive on the east coast of Australia.
It's been good.
Very big. It's great to see the
You
Lord
weren't out there
Mark.
hanging 10 yourself this morning, David?
No. Shot.
Yeah, lovely shot, finding some space and just pushing through for the single. And again, Webber, he's itching for two, just trying to get as much as he can out of this match and out of his innings. 4 for 112.
What are your thoughts? They've got 5 overs left. Webber's still in there, 112 or 15.
I think 140 is definitely achievable for them.
I would have thought 150 with their target. That's only 38 off 5, and at this time of the game, that's just a bit more than a run a ball. 150 would be a very difficult. Again, Sam Webber has to stay there now. Rushford to...
I mean, they do bat right down the order, don't they? The Pumas, the Hamwick side.
Yep. Shot.
Of course, we mentioned Matt Trail as well before. He's tuning in at home, but his father also, he's the patron of the Hamwick side.
Yeah. Good, strong, traditional club, Hamwicks. The great Dennis Broad's in the house. He's been a long-term Hamilton man.
Head of the Lawn Bowls Association.
Yeah, great man, Brody. That might, he's mishit that. So he's splayed that out to a wide, long off. Connors comes around, can't prevent 2.
Nice running between the wickets as well as Cooper knows how important it is to have Webber up the other end.
Sam's looking for a boundary right now.
Oh, looking for it, and he'll get it. And he'll get it plus some, David Redding, because that's another 6.
Wow. Again, once you get it downwind, he smokes it. And picks, Rushford misses, errs in length, and Sam Webber makes him pay. Here we go. So that's just outside off stump, and he has absolutely moosed that. And it's just gone half volley into the grandstand. That is
not
a
only
big hit at
moosed
number
it,
1.
but that was hit very high as well.
Like one of your 9-irons, isn't it?
I don't know about that.
Now, I don't think this will go. I think this will hold up in that thicker stuff out there towards backward point, and it does.
Yep, they'll pick up another 2. And there will be another couple of balls remaining in the over as Rushford, the captain, versus Webber, the veteran at the moment.
Don't think he's finished this over somehow.
I don't think he's either. Oh, that one's pitched nice and short. Kind of caught him a little bit unawares there, but he played it nicely, rolled his wrist, hit it to the ground, and got away with 1.
Fieldsman in exactly the right position. So best result for Hamwicks is a 2 or a 4 here, not a single.
Oh, that's come back onto the stumps, and he has bowled him, as you said. Nice effort there by Rushford. In the end, getting the wicket. And they will be very happy with that. He just looked to play. The ball came in a little bit. Didn't really get the bounce either. Went under the bat. And
he's held this up, yeah, a little slow off spinner, and he's actually dragged that on from a long way outside of stump. Here's the replay. Rushford bowls a little off break, as he does. And big underneath edge. So well done, Rushford. Now in comes Mitchell Ray in that distinctive yellow helmet. But importantly, Webber's got strike. He's just had a sip, and here's Rogie to bowl. So we've got 4 overs left, Gareth, and I still think that 150, this whole match now depends on Sam Webber. The whole context of the game depends. If Sam stays there for 12 or 13 more balls, goodness me, if the way he's hitting them. And you'll be interested. What I'll be interested to see is if Hudson bowls another over. I'm not sure he will. Rushford's now bowled a couple. Whether Hudson bowls again, I don't know.
Well, it's 5:05 now. They have to get the
75 minutes is the target. So they've got to get 4 overs in 10 minutes.
10 minutes. That's a tough ask, David.
Especially Sam Webber keeps on hitting massive balls. So Bird's coming on at that top end, not Roger, I'm sorry. So the left arm of Bird to come on now.
At the end of the 16th over, the Pumas are 5 for 124.
So 1-2-4 after 16 overs. Bird to come on from the Marketown end of Newcastle number 1 sports ground.
The Henny Penny end, David.
Henny Penny end. I like the Marketown end. The Marketown end and the Merriweather Marketown.
It is the Marketown end. But of course we are looking for endorsements here on Bar TV Sports. So
I should know better than that. We deal with our sponsor reads in the Black Diamond Football League readouts, don't we? So
and I'll take a free chicken any day, David.
You and me both, Mr. Wozzeck. The slight delay in play here, I think it's because of people again moving near that side screen. Sam Webber's way. The umpire is not going to let the ball be bowled. I'm assuming that's all I can think of. There is a red car behind the side screen. I'm not sure if that's in Sam Webber's line. There's a small red car there.
I think he just wants them to move. You can see him on screen here, but they're not moving anyway.
Now here it goes. There's that red car. It's now actually being moved from behind. So that's obviously in Sam's line.
Red goes faster, David. Sam. Someone should tell him. Oh, he's had a swing at that. His concentration has been
He'll be angry.
Pretty good.
He'll be cranky. He missed that one because that was short outside off stump. And the way Sam's hitting and the two blokes here at third man and deep at sweeper wouldn't have stopped that. So Uni's still in a hurry. Bird's hurrying back. I wouldn't be surprised to see him come off a short run at some stage. But
the three-step run-up, you think?
Oh, yeah. Well, if they keep on having to hurry, they will. But Bird does have a decent run-up.
Good bounding stride as well when he comes in. Webber steps down the pitch.
Dropped him.
Is that a drop? I thought it might have bounced just before him, and a little bit of confusion there between runners. They're looking for another one. They won't come back, but we might get a replay on that one.
Wouldn't mind seeing if that was a catch the way
I thought it may not have carried.
Fair enough.
But we'll have a look here.
I'll back your judgment. Just the way he dropped his head.
I wouldn't be backing my judgment, David.
And you've got, Blake, you're covering more rugby union this year, Gareth, as we have a slight delay in play.
Bar TV Sports will be all over the rugby union this year. And
would you think that Hamilton will be favourites again?
I would think Merewether Carlton might be going in as favourites this year.
Goodness me, that they've done some great work at Townsend Oval. It's in good nick now.
That's
a great
an edge. They've gone up. Everyone is asking the question. No one was really tentative in their questioning of the umpire, but
if you see how wide he's gone, I reckon that's had some sort of deviation.
It may have been a bump
something. Ball. Yeah, he's almost at first slip. So well bowled by Bird. Again, Sam can't get on strike at the moment. Ray must drop and run. He's got to get back to ball and get Sam Webber on strike.
Well, the wicket certainly has slowed things down a little bit here, hasn't it? And that was a bump ball, I think.
Yeah. Big deviation.
And now he's put it on the ground and flicked by Bird and almost allowing them to get through for the single there, David, but they don't in the end.
Again, Ray's got to get back to ball now. We've got 2 balls left in this over. He needs to either hit a boundary or get Sam on strike as quickly as he can. We've only got 18 balls left after this over.
Here's Ray. Ray goes over the top and they're going to come through and look for 2. Nice running there by Webber. It's going to be close, but just couldn't get it into the bowler's hands over the stumps. But good running there by Webber. Unselfish play.
And good cricket by Ray. He found where there was a fieldsman in the ring and deposited it over the top of him.
Matt Trail agrees with us as well. He thinks Merewether Carlton will be
Trail agrees with Merewether. Okay, very good.
A former Merewether Carlton player himself.
Ray needs to push, see if he can get 2. No, he's not going to get them.
One of the greats, actually.
I was having a look at the honour board in the rooms here yesterday at Merewether, and goodness me, they've got a wonderful deep history. Both the cricket club and rugby club have this wonderful deep history, Gareth.
Certainly do, and there's
after 17 overs,
no place better than Townsend Oval.
I would imagine it'd be a great place on a Saturday afternoon with a quiet Great Northern, just sitting there watching some footy and listening to Bar TV.
Yeah, it's one of the best atmospheres in local sport, especially in winter. The sun goes down early. You wander down to the Burwood Inn, which is, of course, the great sponsor of one of our content shows, Pony Boys, which you can tune into.
Very good.
And perfect place to have a little flutter on a Saturday afternoon, David.
My father was a good rugby player, so I've grown up watching a lot of rugby. Obviously I don't get to see much anymore, but we'll still love watching good level rugby.
Down the pitch there, has a little dance with the ball. The ball tracks him, Ray, and can't get the single, so the run rate's somewhat stifled at the moment, David.
Well, again, Ray has to get off strike. It's as simple as that. If Hamwicks want to win this game, and they're in a very good position, Roger's bowling now. Ray's just got to basically drop and run and get Sam on strike and let Sam tee off. He cannot afford another dot.
It's in the air, but it's going to be safe.
That's a very good result for Hamilton.
Yeah, very
Wickham.
Lucky, you might even say.
Oh, he did the job. He's done what he had to do. So now, Sam, this is the perfect scenario for Hamilton Wickham. Sam Webber's now hitting downwind. Rogie has brought in the fine leg. He has no one in the ring in front of square on the leg side. He's got his 4 men in. So Rogie will probably take the pace off one or two of these. Let's see how Sam goes about it.
Oh, he goes about it, puts a big swing at it, coming across and can't quite get to it. Gallant effort. Nice work there was McKetchie.
Was that Kex, was it? I thought it might have been Gawthorpe, but anyway, he came very close to this. I wonder how close he actually went. Reckon it was G. Yeah, that's G. He's a bit bigger than Kex. Gee, that's a good effort. He didn't quite get to it, so that's not a drop chance. Very good effort.
Yeah, it was Gawthorpe. You're right, so I was wrong. Again, this one's high in the air.
Out.
This should be out.
Oh, no, it's over him.
Wow,
the wind got it.
The wind certainly got it. I thought it was definitely firmly going to
straight down his throat. Go
straight down his throat, as you said. But no, another 6 for Webber as we look right here. Look at that as it comes back. The fielder standing on the boundary, and it's
a great effort, but the wind got a hold of that. So there's by no means did Sam get that. Here we go.
Oh, this one's high up in the air. I don't think the wind's going to get that. They're coming across, and it may
bounce.
And bounces out of the hands of Hudson. He's devastated on the ground, the young off spinner, but it was a tough one to take. You've got to take them, though.
And he missed one this morning. Going to his right, he's not quite as strong as his left hand. He's superb to his left-hand side, but that was a tough chance.
So we know where Webber's going.
1 to go.
And
he gets the run.
That is very good play there by Hammer. He's getting through for the bye, and he will retain the strike, Sam Webber.
So 140 off 18. That gets to the mark that we were discussing about 20 minutes ago.
Yep. So 160, I think, is definitely
that's
what they need to get from here. 18. 10 and over.
So Bird to bowl the last over at the mark at 10 in.
After 18,
and I suggest that Rogie might have one left after that. So now, let's see what kind of field they set for Sam Webber. At the moment, they don't have a deep mid-wicket. They've got a long off. They've got 3 blokes in the fence on the offside. I reckon that's a mistake. I reckon they need a deep mid. The side screens have come apart, so they need to put them together. They've got a deep third man, a sweeper, a square cover, and long off. And there's no one at that light pole over there with my Stockton mates are over there at deep mid-wicket. That's where Sam may go.
Oh, he's stepped down the pitch. This is in the air. Gawthorpe's very good in the field. And he's taken the catch. I thought he may have fumbled it, but no. He's very safe in the outfield, is Gawthorpe. And that is a very good innings there by Sam Webber in this Summer Bash final. And we look at the replay here, David, as it's coming up, and Sam Webber, he never looks dejected, does he?
No, just Sam, just casual. But he's possibly played a match-winning innings here. What is now important is they've got 11 balls left. They can't sit on their laurels. They really need to try and push to that 155, 160. Great round of applause for a superb knock from Sam Webber. And very interesting to see if they can get to 160. That will be their target here. Out to bat comes Tim Dwyer in number 3. Mitchell Ray has strike. There are 11 balls left here in the NCC Summer Bash final in the first innings. Hamilton Wickham.
160 is looking a little bit less attainable now.
Without Sam there, yep, I totally agree. 155 would be a good target for them.
Just puts his batter. They're looking to glance it down to third man, but couldn't quite get the shot.
Honestly, by no means the worst thing they can do is get a single off every ball and just drop it at their feet. He stepped outside leg stump and tried to play a dab shot down here to Chris Connors. He just needs to dab it in front of him, take the single, hit it to the edge of the ring.
There's space everywhere for him to do that too, David. So, and again, he tries to play it there on the offside, and
well bowled by Bird. So he's bowled 3 balls is over for a wicket and 2 dots. And at this time of the game, the momentum changes in T20 are so quick that they're putting pressure on Ray now. He doesn't need to back away, Gareth. He's just got to stand still. That's
and again,
a good ball.
Another good ball by Bird. So Bird, they're clawing their way back into this match. University in the dying overs. 6 for 140. They wanted 130, the Hamwicks.
Yes, they're in front of what the Josh Trappel said was par. However, Ray still has a responsibility to get bat on ball, and he hasn't managed to do that 3 times. Each time he's stepped outside leg stump, again he needs to hold his shape.
Stepping down the pitch and played square. That's the shot he's been looking for, is Ray, and they only get the single, so good bowling by Bird, restricting them in the final stages of this innings. Hamwick, 6 for 141.
How many times have you seen a 19th over in a T20 go 1 for 1 off the first 5 balls? Very rarely happens. That's exactly what he's done. And Dwyer really needs again to get bat to ball. Up comes fine leg, back goes third man. I don't think that Dwyer will get one down there unless he gets a nick, but Connors is up in the ring here.
Well, he's not a massive hitter of the ball, is he either, Dwyer? He's clean bowled him. Bird goes up, gets in his face, and that's how we like it in the Summer Bash, David.
That was a cracker. That was an absolute jaffer. He gets fired up, does Bird, and he's finished with that over the throw.
Yeah,
just the top of middle stump.
Look at that.
Middle and leg stump. Oh, that's a jaffer. That's
it came in, didn't it?
Yeah,
it pitched outside off stump and came back in significantly, and that's a good ball.
So 2 for 1 off the penultimate over of the innings at Gareth has made it makes a big difference. We were talking a minute ago about 155 or 160. They're probably settled now for 150. Ray hasn't been able to, he hasn't got near it yet really, and needs to get bat on ball every ball. The tactics have to be to just push the 1s and 2s really. He doesn't need to step outside leg stump. Roger wants to get...
Roger wants...
So you wanted to get going there. There must be very close to time here. It'll be very interesting to see. Hopefully they don't lose any overs in the response.
Well, it's 5:18 on the clock. Wow. So they may lose a little bit
he's
here.
Done a good job there.
He's done well, Ray. He closed his eyes and had a swing by the looks of that one.
Yeah, he's got 2. That's a very good result. He needs to keep on hitting the ball. And with the field back, they just need to be smart here. Big comeback by Uni in that last over, getting Sam Webber and then Tim Dwyer. Bird will be very pleased with taking 2 for 1 in an over. See if Ray can hold his composure here and keep on getting back to ball.
Steps down again, and this time it's a dot ball. So score is 7 for 143. 4 deliveries remaining here in the Summer Bash final. Of course, Bar TV Sports, proudly affiliated with Instant Access, providing us all our infrastructure for our grassroots competitions around Australia. And of course, this brought to you by Newcastle City Council. That one in the air coming around, and that is a decent shot there, David. They're looking for 2, but... Oh, there's confusion. That was close, David.
I think it was out if it was direct hit. Not the...
it was Bills.
Ray wanted 2 all along, and Bills he's got a first-grade Sydney arm, pinged it, and Ray, that hits his miles, and he's a yard out.
He's out, all right.
So they need to keep getting bat on ball.
Has a swing at that. It's in the air, but it's safe.
Splays that down to third man. Does the job, gets the single. That's Liam Dwyer out there, number 9. 2 to go. 150 is going to be the top end of this. So Uni have really done well in the last 9 or 10 balls. They've really made a big impact on the game here.
Reaches out for that Ray. Ray's found the middle of the bat now in the last over. He's playing pretty well.
Actually, if the keeper had stayed at his keeper's end, he would have got a wicket at his own end.
Definitely got the wicket at the other end. Ray can count himself pretty lucky he's still in here. As we'll look here at the replay.
Look at where you won't see it. Look how far Ray's out of his crease. He's fairly halfway down. Yeah. Last ball.
Oh, he's had a big swing at that, and they're going to go through for the run, and they'll take the wicket. And 7 for 147 is 8 for 147. Sorry, with that final wicket is the final total in that inning. So 148 to win now for University. What do you think, David, coming into the University innings?
I think that's more than par. And even accounting for your conversation with Travel, which I'll hark back to again, I think that Sam Webber has made a big difference, and I think that Hamwick's right now would be favourites. I think that 148 is a very good chase on this deck, And we'll just have to wait and see. Should be an exciting evening.
Certainly will. We're going to take a quick break. Thanks to Newcastle City Council, Newcastle District Cricket Association and Instant Access. We're back with all the action with the University innings, and they'll be chasing 148 to win. Well, welcome back, everybody, to the big Summer Bash final brought to you by Newcastle City Council here for the Newcastle District Cricket Association. It is a very good target set by the Hamwicks, the Pumas, as they're known in this Summer Bash competition. 148 University will be chasing down. They have the players that can do it. We know there's a few big hitters in this University side, and they are here in the big dance. They got here on their own merit, so to speak. High distinctions all the way, David, the University side, and they will be looking forward to this run rate chase. I guess it's up around 7.4. What are your thoughts, and how do they go about it?
Nathan Hudson and Scott Roger going out there. Now, Hudson hit one straight down a bloke straight at long on this morning, third or fourth ball, so he'll need to atone for that. Roger will just bat normally, and he bats quite well, but Hudson's the one that can get them off to a flyer. He can play that dries role. He's very powerful, and if he gets going, he's capable of scoring 12 runs every over, things like that.
Well,
so
certainly he's got a bit of a point to prove as well, being taken from the bowling attack, only getting the one over out there.
Yes, I wouldn't have wanted any bowling left arm orthodox to Sam Wember bowling down, hitting downwind. He was on a hiding to nothing, and they took him off, and Rushford actually did a reasonable job in replacing him over this, then taking the pace off the ball.
It'll be Sam Webber to open the bowling. You see there, he's had a bit of a chat already to Hudson out there, saying probably to the effect that I hit you over the boundary a couple of times. Now I'm going to hit your stumps.
Yes,
he's very good on the sledge, Sam Webber.
He's sly. He is clever. Hudson's not as clever as him. It'll be interesting to see how it all goes, but Rogie batted nicely this morning. He has scored an absolute mountain of runs for Mossman in first grade this year. A plethora even, Gareth. Plethora. And took, as I said, he made 120 and took 4 for in a game that his side lost, Mossman, yesterday to Gordon. Chasing down 380, that's a big run chase. So he's been in very good form. And one of their big imports, along with Nick Bills and Andrew Harriott. Harriott, I think, will bat at 3 or 4.
Oh, and a couple of kids just taken out the effects mic.
Kids have taken out the effects mic.
You heard them chatting out there on our Bar TV Sports Vision over the speakers there, and yeah, a couple of kids have done a little bit of damage there.
So, Sam, we're about to bowl the first delivery in this run chase. Again, the University of Newcastle Cricket Club need 148 off 20 overs to take out the Summer Bash. Off goes Sam Webber. Single to Roger.
Start off, and the nerves again, like we saw in the innings previously by the Hamwicks. They started with the single.
So in comes Sam Webber to Nathan Hudson. Second ball of the innings. Hudson misses one, tries to guide one down to third man. Interestingly here, Gareth, they've at Hamilton Wickham have not taken up Charlestown's tactics this morning of dropping off a long on to him first ball. They've got men at third man and then at sweeper. So that shot down the ground's on for Nathan Hudson.
That one slow, full and wide. So Webber looking to use some variation out there early on. You mentioned before, Trappel saying he had to pry himself off the dressing room benches in there. He was feeling a bit tender after the first match played here today. Oh, almost finds the edge there. Yeah, Hudson tries to dab that one away.
With zero footwork on Australian pitches, you have to use your back foot to balls like that, and then just gives you that bit more time. Hudson not moving his feet early in his innings.
And he's had another swing, and that's a good ball by Webber. That was a bit quicker, that one, and really came through to the keeper in Borkham. Probably one of the premier keepers.
He's the Newcastle zone, yeah.
NCC, and that's a nice shot by Hudson. That is a 6. He leant back and got down to the pitch of the ball, and it went over the fence on the full for a lovely, lovely 6 there, David.
Yeah, Ben Bolk, you're talking about, he cracked that. He really smoked it, and he kept his shape. His footwork was much better.
And that time, Outside edge is beaten again.
Sam Webber's had a lot of success bowling at this particular ground because there's enough in the pitch that he can get seam. And when that ball there moved away a touch off the pitch. So good start there for Uni.
7 runs off the over.
I think it might have been 8. There was a single to Rogie, a wide, and then
wide.
the big 6. I think that might be 8, yeah. So none for 8.
The wide gets me every time, David.
Yeah, Sam Webber is going to struggle for the rest of the afternoon. He's got his hands, he's in the teapot stance, and he'll be glad to get through his 4. This is Tim Dwyer, left arm medium pacer. Did a reasonable job this morning. Rogie, as I said, has been in terrific form and will look to try and get moving again in this power play. The power play is fundamental for this match now. You really have to go hard.
The danger man for me in this bowling attack, certainly, he had a pretty good cameo with the bat as well, is Dries.
Yeah,
He
Dries
generally tends to pick up 3 to 4 wickets a match.
He does. They've got a few slow bowlers. In the early game, they took the pace off the ball, and that's where Dries is really clever because if he varies pace, Abe Gibson, the tall left-arm orthodox spinner, he'll get a trundle as well. So it'd be very interesting to see how Uni go about it. But Rogie can't. He must score early.
Stepping down the wicket, nicely struck. Phil comes around, cuts it off. And they'll only get the single there. So Hudson, as you mentioned before, he can go, and he looks like he wants to go as well.
Interesting to see where Trappel sends his field. So Trappel's backing Dwyer here. Dwyer can't bowl with any width outside off stump. He's got no one on the fence on the offside. He's got a deep fine leg and a deep forward square. So anything outside off stump is money for jam.
Well, that one came back in and it was pitched, I guess, fairly short there. But nicely played. And they'll get another single.
Gareth, are you thinking that 148 is attainable, or do you think that's a very good target? Where are you with it?
I just think this Hammock's bowling attack, they're very good at defending totals, aren't they? We saw they defended 130 in the semi-final, and they did it quite easily.
You're right.
And I just think the experience of... They've been in so many big games over, the last 10, 15 years, the Hammock side, or indeed, they're just this side of this squad, I think, probably experience may get them over the line.
It's a very good point. I don't think Trapper would have had any hesitation in winning the toss and batting because he knows they did it this morning against Belmont. They defended 131 this morning comfortably. Earlier this afternoon.
So here's Dwyer. Oh, he launches that one. That's a very good shot. Straight down the ground, back over the bowler's head. As a batsman, that's exactly what you want to do all day.
Again, wrong length from Dwyer, gave him length to hit. And Hudson, not being a tall man, very powerful, but you've got to be very careful with your length. You've got to be right up under the ribs or very full. If you give him that sort of length, he's going to go you every time. Brings about a field change, Gareth. The deep fine legs come into the ring and back goes long off to the fence.
He goes straight back in that general direction, finding the field at that time. It's the substitute, I believe.
That is a substitute fielder. I don't have a number 11 on my list, so unless they've changed shirts. So 16 off the first 2. That's a good result. The Uni right on target to start off with.
Number 16, the score.
Thank you, Josh.
See there on the Bar TV Sports scoreboard. Josh and Ben, our producers, indeed our camera crew, Will and Brendan, doing a great job bringing you all the pictures. And Sam Webber coming in for his second over now, and that one's cut very close to the stumps. Came off the bottom edge and almost got himself in a bit of trouble there, David.
Really played on. You were talking earlier on about we were talking earlier on about the Bar TV covering different sports. Bar TV's picked up the NEFL contract, which is fantastic. Congratulations to you. That's a great result. You'd be very excited to cover the NEFL.
Yeah, big news coming out of that, and official broadcast partner, and that one's up in the air coming around Borkham, and that is as easy as you like. So first wicket falls, 1 for 16.
I reckon he's taken the pace off that one, and it's just bounced a bit more than Hudson was. I think it was outside leg stump, but I'm sure Sam Webber has taken the pace off that. Yeah, I'm sure he has. He's
he
beaten him in flight.
He certainly beat him in flight, and as you saw in the replay there was a bit of movement off the seam as well.
And Hudson's pretty much, that's not a great shot, and Balcombe scurries around to his right. Finally gets out the way. Always leave for the man with the gloves, and takes a very good professional take. So that's a big wicket early.
You won't be happy with that, Hudson. He looked in pretty good touch, didn't he?
Yes,
hitting
he did.
a couple of boundaries. A lovely six.
So,
mid-wicket.
So Scott Rodgers on straight, and the new batsman is the Northern District's keeper, Andrew Harriott, formerly from Tamworth. He's one of their imports. So good, important strike for Sam Webber there, Gareth.
And this summer Bash tournament, it's been great with the imports coming in from Sydney, and certainly add a bit of spice to this tournament. We saw a couple of clubs, Toronto
Misfield
being one of the main examples, has a very good program now set up with the Manly club.
And that will help both clubs into the future. That Toronto's always been a leader in their junior development. Now they've got a pathway to Manly, and like Adam Crosswaite hopes to tell Toronto that Adam Crosswaite's a first-class cricketer, so that's great.
Here's Webber. Nicely played off the toes. Rodgie certainly looks like he knows how to turn the strike around and keep the runs ticking over.
He's a good player. We came up against him when the Newcastle Steel went to Mosman a couple of years ago, and he made a very good knock. But Joey Price made 90 or 40 odd balls and got us home. So, but he's a very good player.
So you think Webber will bowl his 4 out straight up?
He didn't this morning. I think now that I think he struggled to get back up. I think he'll bowl his 4 and they'd be finished. Yes.
I think he'll take a spell.
Maybe take a spell, but if they can get him through his 4 overs, he's already got the wicket of Hudson, and if they can get him through his 4, that's a big plus for Josh Trapple and his men.
Good delivery there. It's going to be close. Oh, just fumbling in the field there, but the quick single, the pressure was on the field, and that's what you've got to do when you're chasing down a handy target, which they are doing, this university side. Of course, everyone listening in on campus on Bar TV Sports. We've got the
great place, Callaghan. He's in at Arimba. So a lot of people following that, and we've had comments before when there's been live scoring and things. A lot of people from the university and Hamilton clubs love to follow that if they can't be here. And of course, got Bar TV coverage now. I must admit that camera shot where Brendan is such a great shot. It's so clear, and you're right behind the bowler's arm. It's really good to watch and gives you a terrific like when we are where it's sort of to the left of the screen as you can see it. But these pictures are superb.
Of course, we're producing the Sheffield Shield at the moment as well down in Sydney, the SCG. Both ends are down there. They get the big dogs there. From Bar TV Sports.
I'm a little bit older than you, and I grew up watching Test cricket on the ABC, and we only ever had one end. They always covered from the one end, and then Channel 9 came in, and all of a sudden you've got cricket from both ends and all this wonderful photography. But and especially watching Test cricket in England, they had that for a lot longer. They only had cricket televised from one end, so
they're a little bit behind over there, aren't they? Let's be honest. Dwyer comes in again. Big swing at that, gets an edge, and third man will come around to cut it off from the boundary.
I will talk about a sport that you call and have a lot of love for. They are not behind in rugby union. They are a realistic chance of winning the next World Cup. Eddie Jones. Is that a reasonable comment?
Well, yeah,
is that fair?
Eddie, English Eddie, he's going pretty well, isn't he? He'll be knighted soon.
If they win the World Cup, he will be. I think they're right now the main danger to the All Blacks. With respect, your opinions on that? Yeah,
definitely. I mean, they certainly look pretty good. All Blacks maybe on a bit of a decline.
They're just so relentless.
And having done, I guess, the Super Rugby trials on Bar TV Sports over the last couple of weeks, I think a couple of super franchises in a little bit of trouble coming into Super Rugby.
Would one of them happen to be based at Amy Park in Melbourne by any chance? Would they be one of them? 47-5 the Tars got them?
Yeah, we did that game there the other night. And
Brookvale?
Wow. Yeah, at Brookie. Lotto Land as it's called now, but
Brookvale. Yeah, it is Lotto. You've got to give credit where it's due.
One.
Good ball there from Dwyer right on the crease. It doesn't give them much option.
If you're going to rename number 1 Sports Ground, what would it be, David?
number one sports ground. I think it's holds that high in my mind, coming from the bush. I wouldn't want it to be renamed. If there's millions of dollars thrown at it and it becomes a world class ground, okay, but otherwise no. I think number one sports ground doesn't need to be changed. Goes the ramp.
A ramp shot. That's classy and it's dangerous, but it's well executed. Doesn't find the boundary. Looked good though.
Looked good. He wasn't too far behind that. He clearly didn't get it. It's such a dangerous shot that if you're going to take that risk, you want it to be a boundary. And when you watch the international players playing against Stark and these sort of, and Cummins that bowl at 150, they get reward. But I'm not sure whether you need to do that early in the innings.
Against a medium pacer from Hamilton. Is that what you're saying?
No disparity to
that one's a quicker ball anyway. And Webber comes across. Oh, lovely fielding there by Webber off the tip of his finger, straight back into the wicketkeeper. Borkham and flicks the bails off, but he was home safe. And that's 1 for 28 after 4. So tracking along nicely.
They're going okay, 7 and over. Again, that power play teams like to get 45 or 50 and things like that. So they're a touch behind, but they're still 7 and over, and they've got 9 wickets in the shed. So two very experienced cricketers, Harriet and Rogie at the crease. Now, here's what they did this morning, Gareth. We were talking about whether Sam would bowl. I think you'll find that Mark Dries is coming on at that mark at town end.
Yeah, it is Dries in the 12.
Yep, so Sam has, this is exactly what they did this morning. I thought it was unusual. I've always seen Dries bowl outside the power play, and this time he's going to bowl in the power play.
He did in the midweek twilight sessions we had here as well. He came on after a couple of overs, and he bowled his 4 out, and he bowled very good spells. I think he got 4 wickets in one innings, and
he's a smart player. He varies his pace, bowls stump to stump. It's very hard to get to him. You just see how a first-grade Sydney cricketer goes about this. Let's have a look. Dries to Rogie. Well done there by Sam Webber. If he bowls that length against Gareth, don't be surprised to see him rock back and pull him for 4. That was a touch short from Dries.
So close to 5,000 people watching the stream. That's in the air, and it's coming around. Is it going to go over the fence? It surely is.
Downwind.
Out of the park. Lovely shot.
5,000 people, really. That's
close
fantastic.
to 5,000 on Facebook and a couple of thousand on Twitter as well.
So it gives you an indication. Rogie's got that reasonably, but he gets that into the air. Now the fieldsman underneath there thinks he's a chance, and then the wind kicks in over the fence comfortably. 6 runs. So Rogie gets into him.
Waits for that one, cuts it fine, and fielded nicely.
Really, Rogie can just push the ball around now. He's got that big 6 early in the over. He can now push 1s and 2s, and they've got their target in the over without taking too many more risks.
Pushed it up around 8, courtesy of that 6. He has a swing at that, and he'll push through for the single.
And did you enjoy this year's KFC Big Bash? It was some pretty good cricket, wasn't it? It was most enjoyable. Such good watching.
It was very good. There's nothing better than coming home every night and watching cricket.
Nice square drive from Harriet there. Squirts a 4 ball out to deep cover, and they've now got 9 runs off the over. And this is a good over for Uni. Really good.
Well, it's certainly what they wanted, what they needed. 1 for 37. And if they can get up around 50 before this power play's over, you'd have to say they're probably in front.
Yep.
David. Oh, good keeping there. Borkham, good safe pair of hands. And that's over.
So 5 overs for 37, Gareth. 1 left in the power play. Dwyer to bowl again. Wouldn't be surprised to see Rogie again try and take him on, but again, it's a little bit different when he's hitting straight down here. He's actually hitting into the breeze. Yeah, if he wants to hit in and out here through that cover area over towards the 10 and the left, that might be the go. But we'll just see how he goes about it. Again, Dwyer's been bowling a few too many length balls. He needs to be very full or take the pace off. If he gives Rogie length, he might go after him. So changing fieldsmen and getting Cooper down to mid-on. So they've dropped the long on over to long off here, Gareth. And so there's no one on the fence on the leg side. Both deep fielded and on the offside. This will be interesting.
Dwyer comes in. He has a swing at it over the top is Rogie, and It's going to be cut off. Not quite got the legs, didn't quite get a hold of that one, and it comes in. It's flung into the wicket, keeper in Balcombe, and in the end, he'll retain the strike. Score moves along, 1 for 39.
Okay, and immediately it brings a field change. In goes long off, and long on goes in. So now Rodgie has got someone on the leg side fence, and he can hit the sweeper all he likes for a single. So see what happens now.
Oh, almost chopping onto the stumps. It was a very good ball by Dwyer. Looking to maybe hit a little bit squarer that time, where all the space is in the outfield. Dwyer comes in again and one's bunted into the ground.
For me, one of the highlights of the Big Bash was watching the emergence of Jofra Archer. I cannot believe the West Indies have let him go. That seems... I do not know what they're doing, Gareth. That is bizarre.
I don't think they know what they're doing.
Gee, I wish I could disagree with you, but I can't. He's going to wait a couple of years and become an England Test player.
Yeah, it's crazy. Dancing around the crease there, finds a little bit of space, but...
Obviously, one of Harriet's strengths is square on the offside. He's played 2 lovely square drives out there.
So 2 for 141. South Australia at the SCG at the moment.
Gee, New South Wales must have collapsed, did they?
They didn't go too well.
Oh, well, 213. So that should be an outright win to South Australia. That's not good.
Not good for never like seeing of New South Wales.
No, never like seeing New South Wales get beaten.
South Australia, they've been so dominant in Sheffield cricket over the last couple of years.
Well, Victoria's won the last 3. So South Australia, what happens is with New South Wales, players go away for Australian duty. South Australia and Victoria become very competitive because they've got a stack of players that aren't quite at that test level. If you put the New South Wales first line attack in, I don't think anyone, they'd beat most test sides in the world, Gareth, particularly in Australia. Stark, Cummins, Hazelwood line to be your starting bowling lineup.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, it is.
And that's another single there here at Number One Sports Ground. Of course, the Summer Bash, Volume 4, brought to you by Newcastle City Council and our broadcast partner, Instant Access, bringing you all the vision from all the height here around the ground.
So we're at 43 after the power play. Your thoughts there, Gareth? In fact, I'll go first this time. I think at 43, that's basically par. I reckon that's not bad. And the key for me is this. There's 9 wickets. There's 9 wickets in the shed.
Yeah, that's a good result there for the University side as they come back now as the field disperses, David.
Yes, so now they can have 5 back. So now Dries is going to go with 2 men in the offside fence and 3 on the on, and he's got straight sweepers. So see how Harriet goes about this.
That one's in the air. He's gone about it all right, and he's gone about it
Those cars are in danger.
Over the fence, and that's into the creek. And I'll tell you what, it's probably hit a carp in the Throsby Creek there.
I hope not. You want the fishing rods. Not a pleasant place to be. He really got a piece of that, didn't he? He just clouted it. And well over the fence again, hitting downwind. It's for viewers and listeners, it's probably about a 15 to 20 kilometre an hour wind, I reckon.
Oh,
and gusting,
yeah, for sure.
And gusting even a bit more. And when you get it up in the air, it just goes.
Dries, he'd be unaccustomed to this sort of treatment. 2 sixes now off his bowling. Be interested to see how he comes back with these extremely talented batsmen out there at the moment.
Smart cricket, single after the 6. Again, there goes. The wind just picked up my shirt. It's picking up all right. Interesting that Dries is now bowling to these two are first grade Sydney batsmen and well established batsmen. So
Dries certainly no mug when it comes to the Sydney scene. We had a chat to him a few weeks back here on Bar TV Sports and loving his life down in Sydney, but as I said before, hasn't picked up a cricket bat or ball all year. You see there the wind really playing havoc. We had a few windy afternoons.
Actually, that stump's off centre. If you have a look at those stumps, they're not quite straight. that's what the wind's doing.
Josh Trapper won't be happy with that.
Oh, he can't drop it.
Oh, Webber doesn't drop
Didn't.
those.
That's a
Safe
big wicket.
as houses, dries, comes back well, gets another wicket, or picks up his first wicket, sorry, and now they're 2 for 50. The University side. Good ball.
That's Rogie too, so that's one of their big guns. Sammy went late for this. G got that late. Good take.
Just casual.
Yeah.
Just don't call him late for dinner, Dave.
Here we go.
David, sorry.
Don't worry about it. And Sam goes very late and takes that in the air, actually. So good snaffle from Webber. Very important. You were mentioning a minute ago, Gareth, very astutely saying Dries has got hit for 2 sixes in his last 2 overs. Comes back strong. So now this is the skipper, James Rushford, who looked very likely this morning. Batted really nicely. Had his feet. I've seen Rushy bat quite a bit, and when he gets his feet going, he looks lively. He can be really energetic. He runs hard.
Yeah, he's certainly
Good player.
He's an astute mind as well. He's done well with his University side. Oh, that's a good shot.
That's gone again.
That has gone. And that's a 6.
Pretty confident that's gone over, but we'll just wait for the umpire.
Yeah, definitely.
6 bits.
The fielder signalling that as well.
Clearly over. So Harriet's after a new bat here. I'm surprised he's just hit 2 rather large sixes. So now the field changes. Now he's bowling to a ring of 4 on the inside. So if he drops it at the ring on the onside, it's 2. Oh, it goes reverse.
Sweep, and Webber's very good in the field. Oh, it's going to be close, and
Rushford's quick.
He is very quick, isn't he? He's good runner between wickets. You mentioned it, 2 balls before. He came through quick.
So watch here.
It was a good matchup, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Webber.
Clearly safe.
Yeah, clearly safe. Nicely run there by the skipper for University.
Well bowled.
Yeah, tries. Copped a bit of treatment that over, but came back well, picked up the wicket, and a good ball. Final delivery there to finish it off. That's his second over. Dries.
Second over, and he's been hit for 3 sixes. So 2 for 57 off 7. That's a very good starting run rate. Again, the key for me is those wickets at 2. They're not too bad. Probably need Harriet and Rusher to settle for a while and get them moving. But they were going well here. It's been a good chase, and they've hit a lot of boundaries, Gareth. That's a key, isn't it?
Yeah, that's what they need to do. Couple of singles and boundary or 2 and over certainly keeps them on track.
And here's the Bradman Cup off spinner, Kane Anderson, all of 15 and 16 years of age. And he bowled well this morning, 4 overs for 28. He doesn't lack confidence. And interestingly, the right-handers are hitting into the wind to him. So it'll be interesting to see how they go about this. So let's have a look at the field here, Gareth. We've got a long on, deep mid-wicket, deep backward square, and Trappel, no, it's not Trappel, it's Sam will be in there at short mid-wicket. Trappel stays in the ring short, as he always does. Long off, and a sweeper at deep square cover, and 2 men behind point. So Harriet's got lots of room to find gaps. Will he find gaps or go for the boundary?
Nicely bowled first up by the young man Anderson. Certainly good faith shown by the skipper in Trappel.
Didn't hide in this morning. He bowled his 4 overs, went for a bit of tap, came back with a wicket. He's a good player, good kid too. Yeah. Well, I had him in Bradman Cup. He's a lovely lad. Really good fella.
A little bit sharper. Just changing his flight and speed. So good head on his shoulders, as you said.
Very good player. Has led junior sides before, so good cricketer, good thinking cricketer.
That one tossed up a little bit higher. Nice bit of turn as well from young Anderson.
Newcastle hosted the Bradman Cup in 2017, and he was bowling 10 overs for 25, 10 overs for 30 every day. He did a really good job. And now that one, looking at that replay there, it just drifted a bit with this wind. You would expect so.
Going for the reverse sweep. That may be close to a wide, I thought, but
and if that's
right on the line there.
With 2 men behind point, if he gets that wrong, it's all sorts of trouble. But Anderson is getting drift here with this breeze. He's getting the ball to move away.
A good controlled bowling, isn't it, by the young off spinner?
Good over. It's only the single so far. He's done very well. Now he's got to finish.
He's an unknown quantity, isn't he, being so young? And these players hailing from Sydney.
That's
they're
close.
going up. That's very close. That's so close. And the finger stays down. And Anderson, he looks angry.
Oh, you're not going to get away with that, are you? Here we go. Here's the replay.
Oh, I don't know about that. Maybe a little bit
close.
high.
It's close. It's
He was
high. And does it hit him outside off? Let's have a look.
8 overs complete. The Sea Dragons are 2 for 58.
Goodness me, that's a good shout. That's a good shout.
That's worthy of a wicket.
I've got to give Gary Crombie credit. He sat there and he thought about it. The height was the thing. You said that straight away. And possibly going over. And that's a one-run over, so that's massive in the context for Hemwicks.
A very good over, wasn't it, by young Anderson? That one goes up. Dries is...
Should just keep that to 2.
Yeah, you're going to get a 2, so Dries just struggling a little bit with the line. What's worked for him over the past few weeks isn't quite happening at the moment.
No, he has got an important wicket, but Harriet's taken a liking to him.
But he's certainly one that can come back and pick up 3 or 4 in the space of that many balls. That one flicked off the pads. And that'll be a single. So
They're going to stick with 4 on the leg side for Rushford as new in.
Yeah, Rushford.
So I think he's trying to move the field here. Let's have a look once he was straighter. So don't be surprised if Rushford bunts this to the ring on the leg side if he can, and he can pick up 2. There's 2 on there every time.
Oh, he doesn't try and bunt it. He tries to slog sweep it and finds the space anyway.
Leg by
Leg
coming.
buys, though. They all count, though, David.
Yeah, little trick with Newcastle trained umpires. They will always have their hand out to their side if there's a leg by coming, and it's a trait that not all umpires across Australia use from carnivals that I've been at. Newcastle umpires, because of their training, will always do that.
So NCC setting the benchmark, not just with this summer bash, but indeed pathways, and a couple of good first-class umpires have come out of Newcastle.
They have. Paul Wilson's one.
Right.
He did the international the other night at Eden Park with the world's smallest straight boundaries.
Travelled on the plane with him. Good man.
So they really pushed that there. That's 2. That's to the ring.
I can't believe they didn't go for 2 there, David.
That was
really,
2 on.
Really pressured the field there. They had the opportunity. They didn't do it. And they'd want to not lose by a run, will they?
No. 64 off 1 ball short of 9. Going along quite nicely.
So 65 was the halfway mark for the Hamwick side.
That's a lovely shot, isn't it?
Just reversed it, glanced it, and it goes down. Taking every chance they can to make up for the mistimed effort before.
So that's 66 off 9, I believe. So they're going along nicely. So 66 off 9. The halfway target would be 74, and they're very close.
2 for 66.
So 2 for 66. They're well in front where the Hamwicks were before. Goes to reverse it again and finds Trapple, is it? No, Trapple's...
No, it's either Cooper or Ray down there at the finer of the 2 backward points. I'd be giving away the reverse sweep, James.
That one's in the air, coming
Safe.
around. It's going to be safe, though, bouncing in that lovely green grass of number 1 sports ground. And well run.
I reckon he should give away the reverse sweep for all. He's not getting much luck out of it. He needs to play normal cricket shots.
Give it
Just
away.
like that.
Needs to put it on Gumtree and sell it.
Very good.
So Anderson again, he's impressive in his second over as well. Oh, that's a lovely ball. Goes up and umpire shakes his head. They all went up. It must have been close.
Very. Just see if the back foot came in the air here, Gareth, on replay. Watch the back foot, ladies and gentlemen. No, he's kept it stationary.
Down, yeah.
He was lucky. Borkham was after it. Borkham really wanted the decision, but I think his back foot stayed down. So very good decision there.
He's well in the crease, so
Anderson going well.
They're trying to really pressure. Oh, that one's tossed right up, goes straight to Trappel. Trappel flicks it on, and Webber is there to back it up.
Another good over from the youngster Anderson. He's got to finish off now. Doesn't want a last ball boundary. Halfway point about to be here, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, that was so close. He danced down the pitch and missed it completely. It was a lovely ball by Anderson, and Borkham couldn't hold it.
Watch it drift. Oh,
that's a missed opportunity there, David.
Yep, Benny will be upset with that. He holds himself to high standards, but two very good overs from the youngster Kane Anderson. So we're now at 69 off 10, so almost very close to halfway.
And very close to where Hamwicks were, David.
Indeed, and again, 2 wickets only. A bit lucky there, Harriet should have been out. Now it's a change of bowler. I think this might be Abe Gibson, number 4. Left arm around. Yep, this is Abe Gibson. Now, Abe bowled beautifully this in the earlier game today. Really, really well.
Sheffield Shield into day 3. Play resumes at 10:30 tomorrow with South Australia on 3 for 146. They only need 43 to win, David. Yes. Down at the SCG, of course, Bar TV Sports producing that match down there for New South Wales Cricket.
Again, Gareth, this field with 4 men on the fence on the leg side, which is now going to change. No, it's not. Again, if they've got their thinking caps on, if they hit it to the ring, there is 2 every time, especially with Rushford running to the danger end.
Stepping down the pitch.
Would have thought there was a single there, but well fielded.
Trappel cleans it up in the end and flings it back.
This could be a last over job today. I've just got the feeling this could be a really close, tough game of cricket.
Hey, Gibson. Trappel, nice fielding. Oh, Clive's picked it up with his left, popped it to his right and flung it in just so quick across the ground. He's deceptively quick, isn't he, Josh Trappel?
He's a good cricketer. He's a straight-out good cricketer. In all facets of the game. He can bowl too. He doesn't, but he can.
Yeah, we've seen him bowl in the Summer Bash, actually. He's given himself a couple of overs.
Rushford
slipping at the other end.
Inopportune time. There was probably 2 there.
Definitely 2 there. Probably 3, David.
No, Gareth. Back in your box, Mr. Wazzy.
Oh, the big wind up there. Didn't get hold of it. Stepped across, as you said, and I bet the eyes
lit up.
Were as big as dinner plates.
Gibson can't really bowl with width on the offside because he's taking risk with 4 men in the ring. Be interested to see how Rushford just bunted him fine. Good ball. It's another reasonable over there for Hamilton Wickham. So University of Newcastle are 2 for 73 off 11. Requires 75 off 9. That's 8. And it's a bit over 8 and over. So
well, they were up around 8 and over earlier on, David, and they've now, with I think this man coming on to bowl, young Kane Anderson. Would you call him a man? I guess he's playing man.
He's a young man, yes, a young man. No, he's been the difference so far. He's kept the run rate right down. Harriet will probably be thinking to himself, I've got to get runs off this bloke. Uni really need an over of 10 to 12 to get themselves back on target. See how Harriet goes about it. He's got a big gap at exact square leg, and where else he's got a gap. So he can also go fine down there.
Reverse swing again. They've gone out. Oh, he's kept his finger down. What about that? That was out, David Redden.
Yeah, I'll make the call.
You've called it. You've called it without even seeing the replay. Here we go. Look at it.
Holy cow, that's close. Again, it might, to be fair, let's see if it's hit him outside off stump. Oh. That's a concern with that one. Wasn't as plumb as I thought it was first up. So 2 decisions there that he's given under enormous pressure, and the benefit of the doubt has to go to the batsman. So, but goodness me, they're close. Both of them are very close, Gareth, I'll tell you that. So Harriet again.
I thought the first one was probably closer. getting involved in the coverage. That
6 or
one is a
4.
love.
Newcastle's voice is heard.
We'll let you go now. You've got to get down to the presentation. Thanks very much for tuning in and joining us here across this, indeed, the entirety of the Summer Bash. Been great to have you on board.
How's that?
Oh, look at that. That's why she is the Lord Mayor. Nuatali Nelms, everybody out there on Bar TV Sports for an exclusive. And back to the action, David.
So that's a single. Oh, they're going to go for second. No, that's only one off the first 2 balls. So Sam Webber doing a great job here. It should be 133 off 18.2 now. There was a dot ball first ball. So they're now needing 15 off 10. With the experience, Webber's got 4 of the last 10 balls left, and I'm assuming at this stage it's going to be Gibson or possibly Dries to finish off.
I think Dries probably is the man to finish him off.
Okay.
We know he can take wickets, he can move it through the air, but maybe you're right, Gibson, he certainly earned it. Weber off the back, it was out of the back of the hand, that one, slower ball, and they called the wide. 3 for 132. They need 16 to win, David.
Yeah. No, it should be 100. It was 16 at the start of the over. It should be now 134 with that wide.
It is 134 with the wide. The scoreboard picking up the data. Oh, Gawthorpe has a swing, and that was a good ball by Sam, and calls of good bowling, Sammy, as he's affectionately known to his teammates.
Again, I think that should be 134 because of the wide. Yeah, that's right. I think it should be 18.3 gone now.
Gawthorpe comes across, and he stepped across there, and it was erring on the side of a wide there, David.
Sam Webber bowling a terrific over here. He's got 2 balls left under pressure. They've now got 14 to get off 8 legal deliveries. This is going to go down to the wire. Gawthorpe does need to make contact here.
Comes across, it's in the air, could be close, and it goes over the top of the field. It's what they needed. Can they push for 3? No, they're not going to. I thought maybe.
They probably need Harriet on strike. So
in the last over, you're probably right there, David. He is the man who can hit them to the win here. He's a big hitting batsman. He's hit probably 5 sixes in this innings.
I would think that many at least. Now, what's Gawthorpe going to do here? Best results 2 or 4.
Oh, he's had
6
a big shot. Look at that.
Wow.
That is over the fence for a big, big 6. It almost goes into number 2 sports ground there, David.
One of your favourite places, Gareth. That is a massive. Here we go. Sam Webber bowls it on a length, off stump, and Gawthorpe tattoos it over there towards the cars. And he absolutely huge and massive 6 in the context of this match. Uni are now 3 for 100. 3, just checking with the PA from the official scorers. 3 for 142.
6 runs off the last ball, David. This is what we came to see.
Mark Dries to bowl the last over. 6 runs off the last over they need. Mark Dries to bowl it. And
yeah, I thought he would. He has done so over the past few weeks in this Summer Bash, and he's done pretty well. So
the Summer Bash comes down to the last over of the competition, which we have been talking about, that it'd go deep. So
what a timely 6 by Gawthorpe.
And it might be a bit early to talk about this, but I'm going to do it anyway. How important are the last 10 or 12 balls that Uni bowled where they took those wickets, Gareth? In the context of this match, they get to 157-8. It's a different story. Let's see how we go. Harriet, first ball.
Lines up, finds the gap. It's going to go all the way. 146, 2 runs remaining, David. And University will find themselves champions. What can Dries do to combat this?
Trappel must be considering bringing the field up now and make him hit boundaries. So in come the mid-wicket and the long on. They're coming in comes the long off. The sweeper's staying, no, in comes. So they're all coming in, Gareth. All of the fielders coming in, with the exception of fine leg. They're probably going to sit on the back of the ring and they're going to make Harriet hit the boundary. I would hope that most of the infielders are going to fly in here and stop the single. Let's see how he goes about it.
Here comes Dries. Full. Looking for the single. Don't get it. So good pressure here by the Hamwicks. Using all of their experience trying to grasp a win. Will we see a super over, David?
I don't think so. I think Uni will get home here comfortably. Harriet's too experienced.
The Sea Dragons. Oh, that's a nice full ball. It hits him in the pads on leg side. So,
wow.
Dries. 146. 3 balls in the over. This will be the 4th, David.
2 to go. What can Dry's conjure up?
Oh, the reverse. They've gone up for it. They get the single. Wow. We might get a little replay on that one because Dries was confident. Oh, it's hit him in the glove, I think, maybe. As we look here, it's definitely pitched outside.
In fact, I don't think they gave a leg by. I think that you're right. I reckon that's been picked up. Great spot, Gareth. I didn't see that in the naked eye. So that's a single. That's why it was straight. But I reckon you're right. It's playing that silly reverse sweep. So scores are tied.
Ooh,
Gorstrup's got
147.
2 balls to win.
He goes for that one. Going to be close. Oh, they missed the stumps. And University go through. They get the win. The arms go up. The cheers go up. The Sea Dragons have victory in the 2018 Summer Bash. What are your thoughts and who was the difference out there, David?
That's a superb game of cricket. The best 2 players from on in the whole game, Sam Webber, and the difference in the end, Andrew Harriott. Superb performance with the bat. Basically got them through. He was in early when Hudson skied one. Here we go. Here's the last ball. I reckon if he hits, it's close. Very. And the University of Newcastle are the T20 champions of the NCC Summer Bash. Harriott was superb. As I said, Sam Webber was as well. That's actually a superb game of cricket to call.
That was one of the best games of cricket we've called all year, David.
Was indeed. That was
at
a
all
cracker.
levels.
Yeah, that was a cracker. Really good game of cricket. Most impressed with Harriott. You can see why he's a first-grade player in Sydney. Gawthorpe held his cool.
That 6 by Gawthorpe was probably the difference in the second last over.
Up clearly. If he doesn't hit that, then they're after 10 and 11 over. As it turned out, things got tight. So that 6 was massive. That's a superb win. Great game of cricket. And the good scores like this morning. And I swear that's got a lot to do. I think the pitch has dried out during the day and it became a good cricket wicket. So very good performance by Harriott. Great win by Uni. And commiserations to Hamilton Wickham, who put up a good effort. Again, that second last over where there were 2 or 3 wickets in the over has proved very, very important, I reckon.
Well, thanks very much to Newcastle City Council and, of course, our broadcast partner here, Instant Access, providing us with all the infrastructure through all the sports, through all seasons. Go and see Paul Nixon at Instant Access for all your building and, indeed, infrastructure needs. Thanks very much, everybody. I'm Gareth Wozniak. It's been Bar TV Sports. It's been a pleasure to cover the Summer Bash over 2018, over summer. I'm quite burnt. I'm going to go get some moisturiser on, and I'm going to catch you next time.